Welcome to the ECB Cyber Bar. Now, before you ask, no, we're not serving cocktails, though after today's cyber stats, you might wish we were pouring doubles. ECB stands for Ethics Consultancy Zimbabwe, and we have started this podcast to bring awareness and make cybersecurity less of a mystery, less of a scary headline, and more of a movement that everyone from corporates to regulators to everyday citizens can join. This podcast is our bar counter, where we mix humor with hard truths and serve up conversations that matter. My name is Gamu, this is Munya, and we are your hosts for today.
Thank you, Gamu, for the introduction. Very brief. So interesting topic you bring about today. And all right, call me your bartender today. And today we're mixing up a very stiff glass, right, in the cyberspace. A shot of humor, a splash of local flavor, and a double measure of reality. And today we're reserving Zimbabwe's cybersecurity reality check. Threats are here. Threats are here to stay. They're growing. They're not waiting for us to catch up. So pull up a stool, grab your drink or your cappuccino, and let's talk cyber, Gamu.
Great. You mentioned I should grab a drink. Does Mazoya count?
In fact, you can have a double on me.
All right, great. So let's start with the numbers, because numbers don't lie, though hackers certainly do.
True.
In Zimbabwe, cyber incidents have increasingly spiked over time, and we have so many banks, more mobile money platforms, and even small e-commerce sites that have become prime targets. Now, regionally, Interpol's Africa Cyber Threat Assessment showed that 70% of financial institutions list cybersecurity as their top survival priority. Globally, cybercrime is projected to cost $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. That's bigger than most GDPs of continents combined.
Okay, wait. Run this by me again. You said 10 point what?
I said 10.5 trillion. I can even spell it out for you.
Is this in US dollars?
US dollars.
All right, I think we're in the wrong trade. We shouldn't be in the cyber crime protection space. I mean, we should be on the other side of the fence. Right, yeah, 10.5 trillion. That is a lot, and that's not just a bar tab. I mean, that's the whole bar. That's the brewery. That is the whole vineyard. Imagine if cybercrime were a country. It would be the third largest economy in the world. I mean, literally. And yet, here we are, still debating whether cybersecurity is a nice to have, whether it's an option. I'll give you a spoiler alert. This is actually a matter of survival, because this is extinction level threat, come to think of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you actually think that that's actually happening right now? Like people building their cybercrime empires as an actual business today. Do you think that could be more possible in the future?
I I believe so. I mean, think of the dark web, right? There's a lot of investment in that, right?
Yeah.
That alone, right? I mean, you can buy a ransomware package for $5,000, right, to carry out an attack on a $5 billion entity, right? A $5,000 attack will cost that entity close to 100 million in damages, right?
Exactly.
Snowball that over multiple countries, multiple industries, we're definitely in the $1 trillion mark. So yeah, like I said, we're in the wrong industry.
You've got jokes, Monya.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. Zimbabwe is actually ranked the third most cyber attacked country. And this was ranked in July 2024. The third. We're in the top 3 globally. That is not something to be proud of. It's like winning bronze in the Who Got Hacked Olympics.
Yeah, well, I hear you there. But you know what? It kind of makes me proud, right? Like we're in the top 3 of something. That is recognition, man. Like, yeah, that puts us on the map. And putting us on the map, it also brings some things into perspective, brings clarity. And I think it's time we actually introspected and reflected on this, right? We're the top 3 most hacked, most attacked the question is why? Why are we in the top three? Right? Is it because we're vulnerable? Is it because we got all the money? Is it because poor governance, corporate governance? Like why? Why are we vulnerable? It's a good question. So yeah, let's be honest. I think somehow, somewhere, we are slacking, right? To be this vulnerable, we are slacking. Whether it's a skills shortage, or I don't know, or it's weak incident reporting, third party risks. There's definitely gaps in all of this, and these gaps are big enough to move a whole haulage truck through it. And yeah, so when these gaps exist, someone's gonna walk in through that door, through that tunnel, right? People will exploit them. No one's just gonna look at it and say, now there's a vulnerability, there's a soft spot, that looks nice, and then they turn away. They're definitely gonna exploit it, faster than we can say two-factor authentication. So that's where we are, Kamu.
And you know what? Just to add on, I feel like most people might hear this and think we're bluffing. Like, there's no way we're the third most attacked country. We're just the small teapot country in Africa. But in actual fact, what they don't know is that most of these attacks are going unreported for several reasons: to protect reputation, to protect trust with their customers. So there's a lot more going on than we think. But I do think we should also give credit where it's due. So for this instance, the government is taking steps. They're taking measures as to how they can improve cyber resilience of the nation, of Zimbabwe's organizations. This is seen in the Cyber and Data Protection Act, mandatory regulations that have been put forward by regulators, and just the general broader push for digital transformation. Because let's face it, we're all going digital, and the speed at which this is happening is crazy, and we just have to catch up. And we must applaud the Honorable Minister of ICT for championing data protection, pushing for stronger frameworks, emphasizing that we need to fight AI against AI, and reminding us that cyber resilience is not optional. This is no more an idea, it is now a reality. And without their leadership, we would be even more exposed than we are right now.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%, right? And like you said, let's give credit where it's due. Um, there is recognition and acknowledgement of the threat, right? But I do feel that policy alone is not enough, right? We need execution. We need proper awareness. We need skills, right? We need to stop treating the threat like it's a compliance tick box, right? It's not just about passing an audit, or getting your license out or your license renewed, right, by the regulator. But it's about protecting actual livelihoods, because these are people's lives we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And these are people's investments, and it's also about protecting trust, right? We're, as a country, I think we're in that space where we need to show, we need to give investors confidence, right? That yeah, your money is safe here, right? So we're on a investment drive, right? Trying to lure in FDI, foreign direct investment, right? Outside of political security, right? The system in itself, where their money sits, right, should be secure,
Yeah.
right? And the onus is on us to take that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a long way to go. But kudos to the minister. They took the biggest step, right, which was acknowledging the problem and saying this is what needs to be done. They've created the framework, they've created the instruments, the statutory instruments, and that's a good start. So kudos to her. If I had a glass, I'm sitting in a bar and I don't have a glass. But anyway, if I had a glass, I was gonna toast to the minister.
Of course.
Cheers to the minister.
Yeah, like you said, we do have a long way to go, but we all start somewhere, don't we?
Exactly.
And I did mention earlier on that we need to fight AI with AI. Now, I want to ask you, Munya, what is your take on AI in general? Like, in today's era, where do you stand? What do you think of AI and its implications?
Yeah. Very good question. I wasn't ready for that one, but I think AI is a great tool. Like, it's an amazing tool. It's the best thing to happen since sliced bread. Um, yeah, I've got a colleague who likes saying that, but yeah, right. It's a great tool, but it comes down to who's holding the tool, right? I don't know if you watch Star Wars, right? You've got
No,
you never.
never.
All right,
I will
right,
never
right.
watch it.
Right, I'm showing my age here, right? But we got Darth Vader, right? And he holds a saber, right? And the good guy's got a white saber. The bad guy's got a red saber, right? But everyone's holding a saber,
Mm.
and it's it's a powerful, dangerous weapon, right? But with the same strength, right? Same effectiveness, and pretty much they're at par. But it turns red, right, when the villain is holding it, right? But when a good guy's holding it, it's white. So that's like AI for you, right? It's 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 crazy good and it's crazy bad, right?
Yeah.
Just depending on who's holding it. Yeah. So that's my take on it. Yeah.
I love that analogy, and I'd
Mhm.
like to echo on what you said. AI really is a double-edged sword, especially in the cyberspace. We have the productive AI that, is able to detect anomalies faster, automate responses, automate defense, predict attacks. It's like your little assistant that just makes life so much easier. However, on the other side, we do have the villains who are the attackers that are using AI to draft smarter phishing emails, deepfakes, and automate hacks within a matter of literally milliseconds and seconds. And it's like giving both the bartender and the thief the same set of tools.
All right. That's where you took it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I totally hear you there, and I get you. And truth is, if we actually don't invest in AI-driven tools and defenses, we'll be left in the dust while the rest of the world progresses. This is it's kind of like a doomsday scenario, right? Where a breach could cripple our entire financial system, for example. Could erode trust in an actual currency. And talking about investors earlier on, that could actually scare off investors. It's not science fiction. It is tomorrow's reality today, right? If we don't act upon it, right? So yeah, it's very gloomy, right? Come to think of it, but like you said, I think we're off to slow start, but it's a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you've ever watched Black Mirror,
Yeah,
have you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Now we're talking on
Now
the
we're
same page.
talking,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, even the media is showing us
Mm-hmm.
the implications that come with AI, the implications that are coming with technology.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a show, but this stuff is actually becoming more and more real by the day. And I think that we need to take it more seriously. For those who don't know, Black Mirror is just a show that shows futuristic technology, like how the future world integrated with technology would look like. And yeah, some of those concepts are actually coming to life as we speak. So picture this, a deep fake video of a bank CEO announcing insolvency. Panic spreads, depositors rush to withdraw their money. Within hours, that financial ecosystem is in shambles, it's in chaos. And that's the kind of AI powered attack we're talking about. And it's not hypothetical, it's not theoretical. This is happening in reality. And we just need to wake up. That's the truth. Yeah.
100%. I got a question for you, Gum.
Yeah.
How much do you think it'll cost to make that video?
I don't think it will cost a lot.
I'll put it anything between 10 and $20.
10 and $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But how much are you gonna lose
Exactly.
after that video?
Exactly.
Millions and billions of dollars, right?
Yeah, and then you're gonna lose something that you cannot buy back, right? Which is reputation, right?
Mhm.
So it goes back to what we are saying earlier, right? It is cheaper to attack than to protect. Right? Yeah,
100%.
those hackers are running on $100 budgets, $2,000 budgets, right? But the implications of a successful attack run in the millions, right? It's scary. It's really scary. But anyway, I don't wanna frighten anybody. There's a glimmer of hope. There's a glimmer of hope. I mean, we have the talent sitting in country, right? And we're in a global village. Everyone has access to the technology, to the protection mechanisms. We have young experts here like Gamu.
Whoa, I just graduated. I'm getting there though. I'm getting there though. But yeah, we do have a lot of talent.
Yeah, how modest of you, Gamu. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we've got innovators, fintech entrepreneurs, and the regulator themselves, right? They understand that cyber resilience is not optional, right? I would actually go on further to say we should encourage public private partnerships. Let's partner with the regulators. Let's partner with government, right? Let's hold their hand and say, okay, this is the direction we need to be taking, right? How can we enforce this, right? Let's equip them with tools, right? Let's lobby, right? Let's create that backbone of trust, right? Let's express our needs. Let's let them understand our needs and 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 see how we can come out of this thing alive. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's not also forget regional collaboration. It's not just Zimbabwe that's having these conversations. I think
True.
Africa is waking up. If you look at Kenya, they have their digital ID systems. To South Africa's banking reforms, there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of potential, and Zimbabwe can lead. If we align our policies, if we invest in the right skills, the right talent, if we embrace AI safely and responsibly. And, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to join the convoy.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it being a regional effort or a global effort, right? I think the private sector as well needs to come together, right? It needs to come together and take ownership of this, right? We have the most to lose. I mean, like we're the biggest stakeholder, the private sector, that is, right? So I think corporates, the financial institutions, the banks, the big insurance companies, right, medtech, biotech, they need to stop thinking of cybersecurity as an IT department problem, right? It's actually a boardroom issue, right? It's a boardroom issue. This is the stuff that would draw a CEO from a holiday in Bermuda, right? Get him on the next flight back to Zim in an instant, right? It is a shareholder issue. It's a stakeholder issue. It's a national issue. And if we get it right, we can position ourselves as a haven, a trusted hub for tech, finance, and all forms of innovation. Yeah, we can do it. I think
can.
we can.
We can. With the right attitude, we can. And you know what? Like, as much as people like to say, no, but we already have a firewall, we already have systems in place. Like, what more is there that needs to be done?
Yep.
I always like to emphasize that a human is the weakest link in an organization. When hackers are gathering information, doing recon, the first point of contact is an employee in that organization. And we need to start raising awareness. We need everyone on board, even on an
100%.
individual level. I think it's important to just understand what cybersecurity is, understand the impact, how it can affect you as an individual, not just for your organization, but even you as an individual. The consequences are insane. And so yeah, I'd like to ask the audience in the comments or wherever you're watching from, what is your takeaway from today's cyber cocktail? What is your take from today's cyber cocktail? I'll tell you my takeaway. The threats are real. The risks are also real, they are daunting, but those risks are creating massive opportunities, and as Zimbabwe, we cannot afford to slack. We cannot afford to slack. We need the government on board. We need the corporates on board, the regulators, the innovators. Everyone needs to be on board at the same table, or in this case, we all need to be at the same bar.
Well done, Beer.
Thank you.
And that's what the cyber bar is all about, right? Honest conversations, serious commitment to building cyber resilience. Next round, right? Bring in more voices from across the space, from across the region, regulators, top execs, right? Entrepreneurs, maybe even a hacker or two. That would be interesting.
I don't think
I know one.
you know what?
I know one. I know a guy.
Okay, you know the guy.
All right. Yeah, maybe let's bring in a hacker or two. Maybe they'll confess. But for today, let's I would say let's raise a glass, but we're in a bar. And I don't have a glass.
We don't have a glass today.
Yeah. All right. But to our next guest, we promise you a glass, and it's on us. So let's raise a glass to a safer, smarter Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. My name is Gamo. This is Munya, and we were your hosts for today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.
Bye.